Hi, I'm Chad with Move Forward Guitar. This lesson is from our course Music Theory 1. All the lessons for this course are free on our YouTube channel, so you can follow right along with the playlist, or you can look in the description below for links to the rest of the lessons. To accelerate your learning though, I highly recommend that you download the corresponding workbook and eGuide. To learn more about the workbook and eGuide, click the link on the screen or look in the description below. Welcome to Music Theory 1, Lesson 5. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about harmony. So in the last lesson, I broke down music into three main elements and told you that was melody, harmony, and rhythm. In the last lesson, we looked at melody. In this lesson, we're going to look at harmony. And in the last lesson, I told you that melody is just single notes played or sung in an arrangement of different pitches. Harmony is two or more notes played or sung simultaneously. So if we were to look at music notation again, you don't have to read music, this is just a visual representation. These are notes that are represented moving along horizontally, and that's melody. Harmony are notes that are stacked on top of each other, which means that they're played at the same time. So melody is horizontal, harmony is considered vertical. And you could have it with 3 notes, you could have it with 4 notes played at the same time, you could have it with 2 notes played at the same time. It's just 2 or more notes played at the same time. In this lesson, I'm going to show you mostly with my guitar because it's going to be a lot easier to follow along if I'm actually demonstrating it on the guitar. So to start, I'm going to start with a basic melody that I created. It's just a really simple melody, and I'm going to build on that to explain harmony. So here's the basic melody that I created. Now I can harmonize that melody like this. I can just use one extra note and play it at the same time, and this would be harmonizing that melody. So the 2 notes played together are playing a melody, but they're harmonized together because it's playing 2 notes at the same time. And all I've done is taken an extra note, played it right along with the melody, and that created harmony. Or I could do it with more than an extra note. I could do it with 2 extra notes, so I'd be playing 3 notes at a time. And that would sound like this. And those aren't the only options that I have for creating harmonies. I just chose those notes to create harmonies because they sound good together. But you have other options to create harmonies that'll sound good. And that's just done on one guitar with me playing all those notes at the same time. But 2 separate guitars could harmonize with that melody, or 2 separate instruments could by 2 melodies being played at the same time. And when those 2 melodies are played at the same time with different instruments, or it could be different voices, those are creating harmony as well. Here's an example of that. And of course, this can be done with singers. Singers do this all the time. If you look in the lesson description, you'll have links for examples that you can go watch this, but you'll recognize it automatically because this is done all the time with singers harmonizing with each other. And all of those that I just showed you were following right along with the melody. So those notes that were harmonizing together were just following right along with each other. But I could take 2 separate melodies. So I'll start with the first melody that I showed you and then play a different melody on top of it so the notes aren't moving right along with the melody. Sometimes the notes are overlapping, sometimes there's a little bit of space, and I've used 2 separate melodies, and those melodies, when they collide with each other and the notes are ringing out together, are creating harmony as well. Here's an example of that. Also, chords are harmony as well. And the reason a chord is a harmony is because you're playing more than one note at the same time. So for example, if I just take a basic open G chord, all all those notes ringing out together are creating harmony. All chords are just made up of different notes, and a G chord is just made up of the notes G, B, D, and then it's repeated in this voicing, the way I'm holding it right now, G, B, D, and some of those notes are repeated. But when I strike the chord, when I strum it, you can hear all those notes ring out together, and that's creating harmony. So chords are harmony. Also, chords are harmony, but if I'm playing a chord or a chord progression and then I have a melody on top of that, the chords are harmonizing with themselves, but they're also harmonizing with the melody, and the melody is harmonizing with the chords. So you can see how harmony can get pretty complicated, pretty advanced. So here's an example. Here's a chord progression that I created to go along with that melody. I'll just play that through first so you can hear it. Now if I add in the melody, you'll be able to hear how the chords are harmonizing with themselves because chords are harmony, but you'll also hear how the melody is harmonizing with the chords. So here's that example. Here's the chord progression with the melody added back in. And then if I want to take it even further, I could take the second melody that I played, the one that didn't follow right along with the first melody, and I can add that in with the first melody and with the chord progression, and then you'll be able to see how everything's harmonizing together, the two melodies and the chords with themselves and with the two melodies. And not all instruments are capable of playing harmony by themselves. For example, like a saxophone, it would be harmonizing with other instruments or with a voice, because a saxophone can't play chords, but a guitar can play melody, just single notes, but it can also play chords. It can play harmony by itself. Same with the piano. Piano can play melody, but it can also play harmony. And again, just like with melody, there's a lot more to harmony. It gets really advanced, and it's something that you can learn for a lifetime and just keep getting more and more advanced. But for now, it's just important to understand the basic concept of what harmony is and how it differs from melody. Melody is single notes played in arrangement of different pitches. Harmony is two or more notes played at the same time. So that's an explanation of harmony. In the next lesson, I'll talk about rhythm. Look in the Music Theory 1 workbook for step-by-step guidance on how to retain this information and what to do next. And remember, all the charts and diagrams are in the Music Theory 1 eGuide for you to reference anytime.